Yeah.
Hello. Is this Sharia?
Yeah, this is he.
I hope I haven't caught you at a bad time.
I mean, you call me, man. Who is this?
Do you like movies?
Do I like movies? Yes, I like movies a lot.
What about scary movies?
Yes, I like scary movies.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, stop. Stop. I'm gonna stop you quickly because it's gonna spiral out of control. First of all, you're jumping to it very, very quickly. Second of all, are you trying to pull a scream on me?
No.
Is a stab? What are you trying to do here?
No, that's not what I was doing.
You think I can beat this game?
I think I got the wrong number.
You called the wrong number. Yeah, no, that's always what it is. Yeah. Stop wasting my goddamn time. Scream was directed by the Radio Silence team, the people who also made Ready or Not a few years ago, a movie that I really, really liked. And this is the 5th installment in the Scream franchise, and you can call it Scream 5 or Scream 2022. Really, either title works. And in this one, there is another killer on the loose with the Ghostface costume and is taking out a lot of these high school students and targets, and there's no connection at the moment as to why they're doing this. And in typical Scream fashion, as the bodies begin to pile up, the new characters, especially led by Melissa Barrera, are essentially trying to call on the help of those who've encountered Ghostface killers before, and Sidney Prescott, Gale Weathers, and Dewey Riley finally show up again, and they have to take on another Ghostface killer. Again, at this point in time, I kind of want to know what Sidney Prescott's life is. She just gets a call, she's having a normal time, and then suddenly it's like, oh hey, there's another Ghostface killer. That has to be the most stressful moment ever, like, not this shit again. I have never talked about the Scream franchise on this channel, so I'm going to make this video a little more special. I'm not just going to give you a review of this movie, I'm going to also give you a ranking later on of what I think of all of these movies, because there's a lot I have to say about them, and the truth of the matter is I quite enjoy Scream. I didn't see these movies for a long time, but ever since the first one, I've enjoyed pretty much all of them. I would say 3 is probably the only one which I'm a little on and off on, but 1, 2, and 4, and, well, now 5, are all movies that I've enjoyed. And that, well, brings us to this new one, a movie that I very much enjoyed. In fact, I would say this might be either my second or third favorite Scream movie. I had a blast with it from start to finish. It's hard to capture Wes Craven's spirit once again, and unfortunately, this is the first one that he hasn't directed as he has passed away. But you can tell that the team, Radio Silence team that is, tried to honor his legacy as much as possible, because a lot of this movie feels like it was done in the same woven cloth as a Wes Craven film. And they've tried their best to emulate that style as much as possible in some of the shots. And I do respect the filmmaking on display. It is a very well-made movie. The way it's shot, too, is absolutely tremendous. And as far as Ghostface goes, they haven't spared any expense. This guy is fucking brutal in this movie. I do mean fucking brutal. In fact, as Ghostface goes, this might be the most brutal I've ever seen a Ghostface killer. Like, just lots of blood this time, and a lot of really gory, nasty kills in the process of it. So if you are somebody who's into that, you're definitely going to have a ball with this movie, as I'm sure you already have, because this review is late. And like I said, I do apologize that I have taken this long to go back to theaters, but now that I am back, I'm looking forward to reviewing some more recent releases. But enough on that tangent, let's get back to the movie. It's great seeing the legacy cast again. Neve Campbell is once again terrific, as is Courtney Cox and David Arquette. All 3 of them crush it as usual, but the new cast in particular I really liked. In fact, pretty much all of them add something really great to the film. In particular, the 2 actors who I thought were standouts were Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. Melissa Barrera is also really great in The Heights. I just wanted to mention that because, well, I saw her in that film and I thought, she has a future. I am excited to see where her career goes. And so far, if this is the next thing, pretty great next step. I think she's fantastic in this movie, and she has a lot of dramatic and emotional heft to carry throughout it, especially once the film kicks into gear later on. There are certain aspects to her character that become more front and center, and they are very defining aspects of certain things that are happening. And there's definitely a bond that you form with her throughout the entirety of the film. Jenna Ortega, though, is excellent in this film. In fact, from the opening scene onwards, when she's first encountering Ghostface. I don't think that's a spoiler, it's in the trailer too. And from all that until certain points of the movie, I think she is absolutely terrific. And again, a really bright future ahead of her. She's already in a couple of things. She's in X, which is about to come out soon. She was in The Fallout on HBO Max that just premiered. So yeah, definitely some great cast choices over there. As far as other standouts go, I thought Jasmine Savoy Brown was really good in this movie. When I found out the character that she was playing and when the film eventually reveals it to you, I had a stupid grin on my face like, that's perfect. And she's really good in it. And between this and Yellow Jackets, she's really skyrocketing right now. In a contrast to the previous 4 movies, the score is by Brian Tyler, not by Marco Beltrami, which felt a little weird at first, but honestly, I think he did a pretty good job too. I think he, again, emulated a lot of that style. Emulation is a thing in this movie quite a bit, actually. There are times where they're definitely trying to bring in aspects from the first movie in again, as sort of in a requel manner. The film itself calls it that. It's essentially like not quite a remake, but it's a sequel, but it's bringing in elements to make it feel like it's more, the past and the present. It's basically bringing those two together. And in the film's meta commentary analysis, it's trying to make that the focus as much as possible. And I think the film does a pretty good job of that. And I think that particular aspect of it, like I said, extends to the filmmaking on display. And I think for the most part, they did a pretty good job of pulling it off. As far as issues goes, I don't really have that many. I would say that maybe sometimes the film could be a little better paced. There were a couple of moments where I thought the film drags ever so slightly, especially in the second act. Like, it was like very tiny amount. And I think some other reviewers have mentioned this, but I didn't feel that kind of bloat with the other Scream movies. And this one, like I said, ever so slightly, just a couple of minutes. It just felt like, all right, it's going on a little long now. And as far as the final reveal goes, I liked it more in concept than in parts of the execution. Like certain aspects of it, I was like, okay, I understand where this is coming from, but also, I'm not sure if I totally love this. But it didn't affect the movie in a massive sense for me. I still kind of understood exactly what the conceptual ideas behind that were. And again, it was really still fun to see it happen and see it eventually unfold. Like I said, just could have been a little bit better. But overall, I had a really great time with Scream 5, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again many, many times soon. And if you haven't had a chance to see it yet because you're worried about things like, the variant or stuff like that, it's going to be on Paramount Plus, I think, in about a month or so. So hopefully you guys get to check it out then. And I'm going to give Scream 5 an 8 out of 10. I've never talked about this series before. I said that before while I was discussing this movie, and the truth is, I've been wanting to. There's been a long time coming that I wanted to talk about the Scream franchise. And so, while I ranked the franchise in my head, here's what I end up with. Number 5 is Scream 3. I think Scream 3 is the weakest by far. It's the one that really feels like it was meddled with, and it feels like they were trying to do things that they didn't really want to. The film itself calls this out in one scene, which I thought was really clever. And I'm glad that the, final product is better than whatever it seemed to be heading towards. It's still not a great movie though. I would say, like I said, it's the weakest of the Scream movies. But enjoyable in other parts too. Lots of great stuff. Lots of Gale Weathers in that one especially. And Parker Posey was pretty funny and entertaining in it too. At number 4, Scream 4. Now, I ironically like this movie, but I do think it gets a lot of hate. I think it's a lot better than the reputation that it's received over the years, and there's a lot of fun to be had in it. Before we go on, if you hear some kind of tapping sound above, some people have decided to start doing construction. So bear with me as I talk through that. At number 3, well, I just reviewed it, Scream 5. I would say that this is right in the middle. Like I said, at the moment, if I see it again, maybe it'll jump up to number 2. But I still quite enjoyed it, and I mean, I've already said that review, so you can check those comments. At number 2, well, Scream 2. I think that one is really great. In fact, as horror sequels go, it comes pretty damn close to the first one, and I would say it's one of the better horror sequels ever made. Like, I had a great time watching Scream 2, and I'm not sure how many people share that opinion, but I don't know what to say. I watched it right after watching the first one, when I saw that for the first time, and I thought, wow, this is really, really awesome. Like, I I mean, I'm loving every second of this. Again, I understand if there are some detractors for it, but I've just had a ball with this movie every time, especially the third act. It's so much fun. It's so entertaining. And then finally, number one, obviously the first Scream, the classic, the one that really started us on this road, the one that has persevered through time and 26 years later is still revered in all kinds of ways. What more can I say about the first Scream that hasn't already been said? It's such a blast. I mean, everybody's great in it. It's just wonderfully executed, wonderfully written. Kevin Williamson just nailed that script, and Wes Craven directed it beautifully. And Williamson wrote all 4 movies before this one, and I think that this is it. This is the gold standard still. But Scream 5, still damn good, still damn entertaining, and definitely worth checking out. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and like I said, I'm so sorry that this is late, but I hope you guys watch this, and thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. As always, if you like this, guys, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.